I'm still trying out the new mic. Was just on my way out here and interrupted a hawk eating. He's got a squirrel down on the trail back there. I kind of felt bad, like, sorry buddy, but it was pretty cool. I think I got it on video. Anyway, that's why I stopped up here, was to kick on the mic. The classic log cabin, little house on the prairie set up. Okay, well, I guess I'll tell the story. Yeah, the story of my Friday morning. As I make some food today on this cold, crappy, miserable day, we have, wait for it, another new type, peach cobbler. Today is probably more of a beef stew or maybe a whatchamacallit, like chicken and dumplings or something, but this is what I got. So we're gonna do peach cobbler. I think I should be able to cook this shit right here. Put this bench in a couple weekends ago, or last weekend, and it is very fucking handy. But anyway, hopefully the mic works out. If it doesn't, then I'm just basic. I guess I need to get my water going. These guys need 2/3 of a cup. That's right. As you may have noticed, a lot of this stuff I pulled out of this backpack, not my normal backpack. This is like the one I keep in my truck, right? So I have another one of these in there, but it's one that you don't have to heat up the water for. It's basically like a go bag. It's got some warmer clothes, socks, insulated pants, stuff like that, hat, water. There's a individual first aid kit in there. There's a bunch of protein bars and stuff like that. I mean, enough to even, feed a few people for a couple days on them things alone. What else is in here? I have a radio in there, and it's all wired, so you can just run an earpiece to listen to like weather updates or traffic updates or anything in case I get stuck on the interstate or stuck in, some kind of bullshit. I have everything in this bag to basically keep me, alive for a couple days or get me home, right? Got some kippered herring right there, of course, a spoon, a battery pack, battery, whatever the fuck you want to call them, for your phone and whatnot. Basically, everything I'm gonna need. Well, I also have a Serpa holster, and it's an outside the waistband that normally has a Ruger in it. There's also a box of 9mm in there. So I get pulled over the other morning, and I had done nothing wrong. My insurance, my plates are good. My insurance is good. My registration, my license, everything is good, right? And so I get pulled over, and a long story short, I'm not the guy he thought he was pulling over, right? So right off the bat, here's all my information. Everything I got is good. even though he pulled me over because he thought I was someone else. No big deal, right? He was super professional about it. Well, kind of in between him discovering that he had the wrong guy, he's shining his light in the truck, and he's shining it right at this bag here. And he's shining it at the mag pouches on the outside of it. Oh, this does look pretty freaking good. Anyway, so he's got the light on the bag, on the pouches. And I'm pretty knowledgeable about my rights and whatnot. And in that split second, I'm thinking to myself, he's going to ask me what's in the bag. I'm going to say I don't answer questions. He's going to use the mag pouches as a reason to search. He's going to ask me if there's a gun. I'm going to say I don't answer questions. And then he'll just say I smell weed or anything. He'll call in a dog. We all know how that goes. That's a fucking scam. They're searching the truck at that point. And it's Friday morning. I'm already a person down. It's like 3:30 in the morning. I need to get to work. We're a couple of people down, actually. So this was like the worst morning ever for this. And at that point, I had already known whatever reason he had for pulling me over was null and void at that point. It was a done deal. He pulled me over for the wrong reason. Wrong guy, wrong whatever. And I was all good to go. And so in that split second, as he's shining, and the first thing he asks, he's like, is there a gun in that bag? And I totally owned up to it. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm right or ignorance is right or whatever, but literally for decades, I've been traveling all around the country with a fucking handgun in a backpack. No big deal. I never even thought it was wrong, right? You can throw a rifle in a cloth bag with pouches sewn on the side of it with ammo in it and whatever, and that's perfectly legal. Why would this be any different? Well, apparently it is. So at that point, the deputy asked me to get out of the vehicle, which I did, and he patted me down. Oh, I told him, yeah, dirty old Ruger in there, and patted me down, and I was completely compliant with him. I'm like, I have nothing to, I've done nothing wrong here. I was pretty confident. And he asked if I had any other weapons on me, and I'm like, do I answer? I don't know. I'm putting it away, dude. I'm putting it away. So it's like they've been running a chainsaw and now they're shooting. Like, fucking, like living the country life to the extreme today. I got no problem with it. Anyway, so I get out of the he passed me down. Do you have any other weapons? I'm like, yeah, I got a knife on me. And he's like, I'm not worried about that. And he's like, I'm gonna have you sit in my car and I gotta go in your bag. And I'm like, all right, I'm like, I didn't have to answer questions. I really don't have to consent. And he's like, yeah, well, the pouches. I'm like, all right, I get it. I wasn't arguing. I was just kind of, Well, so anyway, he puts me in the back of the squad, no cuffs, no nothing. He comes back with my gun and he's like, yeah, at this point you're being detained. And he's like, yeah, and we had an honest to God, really good conversation about like, well, what the fuck, dude? I had, explained to him what the bag was for. Like that's literally just so I can get home if I need to. There's nothing nefarious about it. I'm not, that thing isn't loaded up so I can jump out and fight bad guys at any given moment. Fuck that. I want nothing to do with that. That's just to get me home. There's two things in that bag that I hope to God I never have to use. And one is that gun and the other one is the first aid kit, just like I hope to God I never have to use the fire extinguisher at home. I mean, this is just, this is just a tool to get me home. So I'm prepared. So I don't have to call the cops. Hey, I'm stuck in my truck. Help me. No, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to be the guy getting my ass home. Anyway. So we had a really good back and forth about it. And I mean, hats off to Deputy Nichols. He was very, very professional. even though I think he could have had a little more discretion there with what was going on. He did say that, I could take you to jail for this, and I'm like, eee. So then I'm like, hey, blue line, lives matter, like, oh, fuck, on a Friday, Columbia County, shit, they'll lock me up for the fucking weekend, make me sit to see a judge on Monday or something ridiculous like that. So I'm like, I completely appreciate it. And I think it was just a really weird stop. He even told me everything that I brought up to bring up to the DA or the judge or whatever. And he gave me a mandatory court appearance. So there was no fine, there was no nothing. It was really weird. And he was very professional. As he was finishing up, writing stuff up, he's like, "Hey man, if you want to go wait in your truck, and I just pulled out of Love's. He was waiting for me. He ran my plate or whatever. It was just a weird situation all the way around. The whole stop was only like 20 minutes. I mean, I was literally punched in working by 4 a.m. But yeah, so apparently you can't have just the old dirty old handgun rattling around in your backpack. I mean, I'm an idiot. I got caught for that. Hopefully, I don't get in too much trouble here. We'll find out when I go to court. But yeah, so I mean, it literally just I mean, there's a AR mag in here right now because I got my AR with me, but I brought this bag out. I mean, it's black. It's not, inconspicuous. It's not like, anything, but, and that pistol was in it wasn't hot, but had a mag in it, and it was in a Serpa 2 holster, and apparently you can't have that. But, the deputy, he went to the passenger side of the truck. And that was the other thing. I had to fill up propane tanks the night before. So normally that backpack would have been behind the seat. He would have never even seen it. So it was just really weird. Just a weird circumstance of how the events unfolded there. But he went, right to the passenger side. He opened up the door, and he literally he opened up the bag. He asked me where it was. I'm like, just open up the zipper on top. It should be right there. And and he opened it up, and there it was. And he left the bag open, but he didn't look at anything else in the truck. He was super cool about that. It was just weird all the way around. It was almost like he was, I have to give you this. I'm kind of going through the motions here, but we'll see when I go to court. Hopefully they don't, get thrown in jail or something, or be on probation. Maybe get an ankle monitor or something cool like that. Like Lindsay Lohan. That'd be awesome. But anyway, yeah, that was story time. I'm going to pause this for a second and, I don't know, stir around my food a little bit. Okay, the peach cobbler looks pretty done. Pound cake and granola with heavy cream, peaches and brown sugar. I'm into the heavy stuff. The heavier, the better. Better, whatever. Like the smell of cinnamon and sugar that comes out of this is like, oh my God. Mmm. Wow. These guys have really nailed it with their cobblers. Mmm. Man, is that good? Is that ever good? Anyway, highly recommend this one. I don't know if there's been one that I haven't recommended. Fuck yeah. These guys, they make a bunch of weird pow cow fucking noodles and fucking bunch of weird shit that I would think, like, maybe if you ate it, it would work as a bear repellent, because a bear would be like, what? Yuck. Like, a bear wouldn't even want to eat you. They should probably explain that better. I bet you that's what it is. In fact, that's just what I'm going to tell people. If you're really afraid of bears and you don't want to carry a gun, you just eat pouches of the most demasculating, you know what I mean, type foods, like fufu noodles with tomato basil cream on a crusty bun, whatever. I don't know. This stuff just sounds gross just reading it. It's like, why? I get hungry reading that for something else. Peach cobbler, I highly recommend. Um, Having the cops take your gun, I highly don't recommend. Randy, the fucking possum, has basically just moved in. He won't fucking leave, and he's kind of a dick. Like, we have a bunch of litter boxes over here, right? Even Maggie the raccoon uses the fucking litter boxes. Possum, no. Possum's like, oh hey, I made this the designated shit corner. I leave the door open, like, dude, you can leave, go, be free, Randy. Go out and find some anything. Just go away, Randy. You're kind of a dick. And Randy's like, I don't give a fuck.
You a little thirsty?
Anyway, definitely thank you for watching my videos and listening to my long stories. And, you know, like, subscribe, share. And when you comment too, it's kind of cool. I'll keep a better eye on that. And I think more people see it then. So I could save lives, you know. I mean, you guys realize I am a saver of lives. I'm waiting for my trophy, but I don't know. Apparently, there's been some messed up with the mail.